Hi, I'm Pauline.
Hey, I'm Priscilla.
I'm Pal.
And I'm Tamiron.
And this is the P3T podcast.
Yoo-hoo! You guys remember that thing for yoo-hoo, big sound blood? No? Anyone?
Just
Frozen. Y'all are uncultured.
I don't even remember Frozen. It's the most. I've not watched Tango.
No. Blasphemy.
I want to watch it, but I've never watched Tango.
Yeah, I think you should. It's a good movie.
Kwanza umemaliza shule bwenda what?
Welcome back to the podcast, and we are really excited for this episode. It's quite an interesting one, part 2. As we promised, it's on femininity. So, this is femininity part 2.
Just by popular demand.
Yes.
We listen to you. We listen to you.
If you haven't tuned into the previous femininity part 1, please do make sure to listen in, like, share, comment, anything. We'd really appreciate it. Also, we hope you really enjoy this episode. So, starting, I have just one question. Okay, a series of questions, obviously. But, okay, as how we left it off in our previous episode, there are a couple of things we did not tackle. So, since we're in a world of social media, we're in a world of internet and all this society stuff coming into the online culture and everything, what do you think is the biggest problem with the depiction of women in society, especially in the media? Like, is there something that just irks you, or you just don't appreciate about women and how they're displayed in the media? Yes, Pauline?
For me, it's not really a certain way they display women. Mm-hmm. It's just the idea that woman is one thing. The idea that if you aren't this, you are not woman. You get? So I think that usually makes me a bit, I don't want to say angry, but it pisses me off because women are so many things. They have different interests. They have different wants, needs, likes. So to sit down and tell young impressionable girls that this is what woman looks like, and if you are not this, you are not woman. I think that's it's bad. I don't like it.
I think for me, I don't know. I've been getting so triggered all over social media because of this one man called Andrew Tate.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. What? Kai. So Andrew Tate he's a very, all these Andrews have issues. Me, no. I think I'm a red flag for me. If your name is Andrew, toxic, Andrew Kibe, Andrew Tate.
May I just say, we don't have hate for Andrews, just those two Andrews.
No, actually, maybe I do.
I know.
I feel like Lokio.
I know a decent Andrew.
Yeah. I also know a decent Andrew.
Yeah.
But no, okay, I know, but he's not Andrew, he's Andre. Unasikia unajijua. But anyway, point is, what? He's so archaic in his thinking. For him, he has a sister and he has a brother. This is just basically a tip of the iceberg. Mm-hmm. But, hey, you know what he said? I have a sister. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to relate to women except through sex, or if I want sex from you. So I don't even talk to my sister, because what am I telling her? Like, I can't have sex with her, so like I have nothing to do with her.
I please,
And then he was like, actually, the only reason I talk to women is when I've had sex with you and I want it again, or I just want it from you. So I was like, what?
Can we throw him out the window?
Kindly.
Can we? Yes.
Let's drive over him.
No, but you see,
what's even more dangerous is that his audience is mostly
young boys, like
so
teenagers.
Young boys are taking everything and like, yes, to leave us a man. And the second thing is, he's not the only type of person who's, even here in our country, it's like that. Like, you go for like traditional Kikuyu, wakipeleko kwa forest,
That's what they're being
If
told,
we're
yeah.
to, you have nothing to ask from your mother or your sister apart from, you have nothing to ask a woman for apart from your physical needs as a man. Outside of that, she does not matter in your life. She doesn't have an opinion. She's a child. And Andrew Tate
Is that a child or an object?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew Tate is that as a white man.
Yes. With such a large, no, he's not only a white man, but he's a white man with a large following of young boys. And that's what he's telling them. Anyway, point being the objectification and sexualization of women.
This is not it. I just wanted to say, you see how we are so angry at Andrew Tate because he has a young audience. I feel like also what is lacking in a lot of societies, maybe it's lacking because it truly does not exist, but guys that teach young people how to treat women like human beings, I feel like they're absent. And maybe they're absent either because they don't talk.
There's this podcast called Man Talk KE. They try.
Okay, so they exist. Okay, I retract my statement.
But they don't appeal to young boys, they appeal to young men.
Yeah.
So as a teenager, you're going to grow up feeling reckless, yeah. Then now when you're broken, now you discover Man Talk K. Now is that you're fixing yourself. There's not many people who appeal to young teenage boys. That's I agree with you. I don't have anything to add. I agree with the both of you.
I think for me, it's not so like far from what you guys have mentioned, but I think what really irks me is the same way Pauline was saying. It's like there's only one type of woman and there are no variations in women, and I find it I find it mean and also annoying when there's just this one beauty standard set up for women. You must have flawless skin, you must have long hair, you must have a thin waist, bodacious body, big bust, big bum, such like beauty standards that have been put in place, and like, oh yeah, that's beauty. And okay, I'm not sure if I've seen much of it in Africa, like people being, okay, yeah, there are some girls who are afraid or are not so comfortable in their skin, but I think I've seen it a lot on social media in like the Western countries, where a lot of women go even do like plastic surgeries to like, okay, I'm not saying I don't want to become controversial, but a lot of women try to change the way they have been created to
Suit a certain standard.
Yeah, to suit a certain standard, so that they can appeal to the beauty standard, that the imaginary beauty standard that has been put in place by social media, which I think is not right, in my honest opinion. Yeah.
And it changes all the time. I don't know that you guys saw this video of this mama who was talking about, okay, in 2020, this was the preferred beauty standard. It was basically slim thick. In the early 2000s, it was bigger breasts. In the what, it was a slimmer waist. It was being size 0. So, like, are you going to, like, okay, if you're born in 2000, okay, 1985, unafika 2000, you're being told bigger breasts, so you go change your breasts, and then you get to 206 where it's size 0. Okay, you remove all your fat, and then you get to 2020 where it's slim thick. Okay, you take your fat to your bum. Like what? You just keep on changing your body to suit a standard.
So many resources being used.
Exactly.
Someone said the beauty standard is dependent on which clothes the fashion industry wants to sell. And I've never been able to stop thinking about it like that.
Oh my goodness.
That's so
Gosh.
true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Either way, it's quite sad that we live in such a world. Another question would be like, with now this whole talk on beauty standards and how like there are some beauty standards that honestly I feel like should be scrapped off, and I think we should take people as they are. Do you think that society has become lenient in terms of the beauty standards they are portraying? For instance, let me give an example. For example, how a while back, women were encouraged, or there was a lot of fat shaming or body dysmorphia to like plus sized women, you know. And like let's say back in the 2000s or even prior, I know like the 50s it was a lot, like women would wear corsets that are so cinched up that you just look so and then now we live in a somewhat, okay, it's now progressing, but women are now allowed to be plus size. Women don't feel shamed as much because of being the certain size that they are. So do you think that we are going backward or we are moving forward? And also with the whole thing about like now plus size women, there are some, okay, some, not all, there are some fitnesspreneurs that come out to say, Ati, you know, the way we're encouraging plus size women, we're encouraging a society that is lenient on having healthy living, healthy eating, healthy activities like exercises. So are we moving backward? Are we moving forward? Where are we? Are we stuck? Yes, pal.
I can say we're moving forward and backward in different aspects. So if you talk about like acceptance of all body sizes, that's when we're moving forward, because now we have things like plus size models, plus size influencers, you know, and they're really doing well in the industry right now. But also in terms of like the type of body you should have that's considered desirable, still we are still at the same place we were yesterday and 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You must be, I don't know, what's the trend right now? I think it's going back to slim. Yeah. So I think the trend is going back to slim, yeah. So still society bado iko huko, you know. So I don't know, it varies. So we are moving forward but also we are not. Yeah.
I feel like social media makes it seem as though we are moving forward, but then honestly vitu kwa ground different. So I remember I was watching this episode on, they were doing a slim versus thick challenge or something. So I remember one of them said something about like, like there's this whole assumption that like thicker girls are most desirable in Africa, but then she was bullied all throughout a primary and high school for being a bit bigger, and even in uni she felt as though like the people being picked up most are the slimmer, more thin girls. So anyway, all this to say, like it's good to see that things are progressing in social media, but then kwa ground vitu bado. But then I feel slowly as maybe social media influences people more, we'll get there eventually, but then for now it's very slow.
I agree with both of you because I think, yes, we are seeing a lot of more plus size models, which is probably something you wouldn't have seen in the 50s, like a plus size girl walking down the runway, or, you know, a plus size girl being exalted on YouTube, or like, especially like there's quite a number of channels on YouTube and TikTok that do this trend where you take the same outfit on a like
Different
slim
sizes,
girl and then so like such things are becoming more common and more available. But then there is still, as Paul was saying, there is still that ideal body that everyone is told this is what you need to look like. And until we remove that ideal body, I don't think we're ever going to get anywhere.
I agree with
And
all
then
of you.
I feel like, sorry to say, but like the people being appreciated are the ones on the extreme, or the people you get to see. So like you're either plus size or you're either really slim. Okay, let me say in the modeling world industry, yeah, you're either plus size, not you're plus size, see plus size, or you're either slim. There's no in between. There's no allowance for in between. And there are honestly people who have in between bodies, but they don't feel represented in the runways and stuff. So yeah, that's all.
Wow. I agree with all of you. I don't have any takeaways or additions. So we'll move to the next question. Obviously, as women, there are a couple of stereotypes we've encountered, and we've experienced also, be it in school, be it at home, be it in our interactions with friends outside. So, what do you think are those stereotypes that have stood out for you? And like, what are your opinions about it? Like, just share that stereotype that stood out for you and you think you need to talk about it. Yes, pal.
So first I want to say we're not going to exhaust all the stereotypes. There
Yeah.
are some which have gone and come and will come and go.
Yeah.
So we're just touching on some. So the first one, the one that irks me the most is a woman, if she's upset, she must be on her period. She must be PMSing. And I'm like, no, you can genuinely
It's a
upset
genuine
me.
human
Yeah. It's a regular, you can upset me and I can be upset, and you don't have to say or you don't have to assume that I'm on my period. So that's now when I'm on mine, I make a point of not acting different. Like, you won't know. You'll only have to see me smuggling a pad into my pocket or something for you to know I'm on my period. But other than that, I make sure that time utaniona, I'll be smiling, I'll be happy with you. Yeah, but also, hey, women are feeling pain at that time, you know. So it's not the only time when we're upset. That's what I'm trying to say. You can get upset at any other time. Yeah.
Tams?
I think I'm going to answer your previous question, then answer this one. You, like, a part of that question was with fitnesspreneurs telling us that we're perpetuating an unhealthy lifestyle by encouraging people to be plus size, blah blah blah. Honestly, there are people who are just naturally big.
Yeah.
Whether they work out as much as they can or whatever, like, they'll never get to that ideal size. So making them fit into a box is just unfair. However, I do agree with the fact that you should be fit. Like, just because you're big or you're bigger doesn't mean you're not fit.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many people who are gym rats and they are big, but they are fit.
Probably fitter than people who you wouldn't consider unfit.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Before you talk about your stereotype, I have something. Well, I don't think it's something to add, but a funny thing I saw is this lady. She went through so many dietitians and so many nutritionists telling her, eat this, don't eat this, eat this, don't eat this. And then she went to her doctor, and her doctor was like, just eat your normal food. Eat your normal food, do movement, don't just sit in the house, like exercise, and you should be fine. So now her new thing is, if you want to give her any nutrition advice, show her your medical degree. Without a medical degree, I don't care what you have to say to me. Like, yeah, maybe that worked for you. Good
for you.
Kudos.
Yeah.
But for me, if you want to give me advice, show me your medical degree.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the other question on stereotypes. I think, the one I'd say is that if a man says something, it comes from a logical point of view, but then when a woman says something, it comes from an emotional point of view. Women are logical, come on.
Just in addition to that, if men are like, say what they mean, they're assertive, they're dominant. If women say what they mean, they're angry, they're stubborn, they're not soft like a woman, you know. What is the one that I wanted to say? Oh, for me, it was the one.
I thought about how I'd build on that, but I don't. Help me build on that.
Okay.
What's the stereotype again?
When a man says something, or when a man makes a decision, it's from a logical point of view.
But
then a woman is
women can't think.
Yeah, exactly.
There are sometimes with women, emotions, they can't separate. Yeah.
No, women are smart. Women are going to govern their whole homes. Alone. And homes
we buy food.
Yeah.
and it stays for the month or for however long we want it to. Is that not logic?
Yes.
Like, if we were running on emotions, how many children would not have made it? Because children, for me to deal with a child, I need to be not emotional. Because children are the epitome of emotional. So, like, if we were both emotional, we'll never move.
True.
Yeah, I feel that's
frustrating.
it's a gross stereotype. And then I feel like associating women with emotions is not necessarily a bad thing, because then women are able to express themselves and they don't have to hold back their emotions, because if you hold back your emotions, then you might start having rage, anger issues, which is
Very prominent.
amongst the younger gender.
Yeah.
That's our agenda.
So if you hold things in, then it's not healthy. So I feel like women, we strike a healthier, not healthy, let me say completely healthy, a healthier balance between thoughts and emotions
Logic
and
and
logic.
emotion.
Between
Yeah.
logic and emotion, yeah. Colleen. Okay, sorry. Nilikukata tu.
Shida. Women can't be both. They can't be smart and beautiful. They can't be homemakers and a working wife. You can't be a loving, nurturing woman and assert your dominance. Like, I don't know who lied to men that women is either or. Like, there's you can't sit down and define woman, because woman exists in many shapes and sizes, in many thoughts and hobbies. Like, to sit down and say, that woman, I used to think it was an archaic thing. But the number of times someone has looked at me and said, oh, you do this and this course, you must not enjoy what is something that femininity things. You must not enjoy makeup, you must not enjoy doing your hair, you must not enjoy dressing. And can I just say, me, I love dressing, so like it's such a weird thing to me that you have to be either or. Like, even growing up, if you're like a tomboy, what is it?
Sorry, no, continue. This Karen's response in the background.
The difference of it.
If you're like growing up, if you're a tomboy, or let me not even say if you're a tomboy, if you like football, you can't like the color pink. Or if you like playing sports, you can't like hanging out with girls or playing with dogs. And that is weird, it doesn't make any sense.
Like, I feel like for me, I strike a balance between being like assertive and bold, and also being like a softer person, like a more kind, a more nurturing person. So to put me in a box, I wouldn't fit. I'm in both in a way, you get. So I
Also,
agree with you.
I don't think I strike a balance. It depends on my situation. If like we're doing a group assignment, imagine me nitakuwa Simba, like for real. Unless you submit your work, like from the get-go, I tell people, this is the deadline for submitting. This is my personal deadline for submitting the work for me to compile. If you do not submit it by the deadline, do not talk to me, do not call me, do not text me. I don't want to hear from you. Yeah, and then, but after you submit your work, or even before you submit your work, need to hear your submission, then itakuwa na wewe simbakali. But before that, we be besties, and then you'll be like, where? Msichana.
Simba.
Yeah, so for me, it just depends on the situation. For the most part, I'll be nice. But if like something is at the cost of my grades and medication or something like that, that touches us. We not play games.
I also feel like, also to build on Pauline's point, I think the whole association of a woman can't be both beautiful and have brains is so outdated. With the fact that, I hear some stories that quite, they arc me out. Because now, a person is like, I have had a story of a woman who, men are stunned by how intelligent she is and how beautiful she is. And even this whole stereotype of, let's say, blondes, like in Western countries, a blonde, they are beautiful, yes, but then they're always associated to being daft. They don't know anything, they are clueless, they're not informed, which is quite sad. Also, another stereotype that is perpetuated that I just don't like is how women are born nurturers and men are born leaders. And I'm like, okay, let's be honest. Let's just tujita mkutano. How many countries that are led by women have grown successfully, and like this majority of countries that are led by men?
Can I say something? I feel like that's a little bit of an unfair metric because how many women leaders have there been and how many male leaders have there been? I understand that the women leaders have done a fantastic job because they've had to prove themselves. You get, it's not easy to get to where they are. So these are the best of the best being picked if you're a woman. But for men, because now we are so complacent about it, we just let anyone enter. You get, like, no, I won't say anything about our elections. But yeah, you get, like, yeah, if you look at if that argument, yes, it holds a little bit of water because definitely the women have done a fantastic job in comparison to all the men who are the majority of the world leaders. However, the reason why they're doing a fantastic job is because these are the best who have been selected. You know, then they have, and that the reason they're there is because they fought so hard to be there, so they have to prove themselves.
But isn't there like isn't there like a complacency amongst, like, you know, this kind of thing of, you know, a woman's role, stay at home, do this usual thing, like you're meant to just be like, in a way, like beneath. And being a leader for a woman is like what you posted on your Instagram about BBC Africa, the documentary, where like a lot of female leaders, or female aspirants face a lot of backlash and threats and so much issues because they are vying to be leaders. So I don't know, Pauline.
I think, okay, I had quite a bit to say, but let me start with the point about women. The whole women are nurturers. No, let's start with the whole women need to stay at home. In this economy, if we are not both making a salary, our children are sleeping hungry. Simple. That's the fact. We can't both sit at home. It's not possible. We won't be able to provide for not just our children, even ourselves. Because I'm working, but I also want to go on holiday. I also want to eat good food. Like, I'm not working so that I eat ugali and mboga my entire life. You know, like we wouldn't be able to create a life that's good just because that's the way the economy is. So that thought process, unless you want to sleep outside, not be able to make rent and pay bills, like it doesn't make sense to me.
But you see, now with that light, people can say, okay, Sarah, go work, but don't be a leader in the workplace.
Now that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. The whole women are nurturers, men are leaders. I feel like, first of all, that is not even comparable. Because yes, I'm a nurturer at home because my children don't need a leader. My children need a mother. But at work, the people who are working like with us, for example, in school, Pal has said she needs to be Simbakali so that people meet deadlines, and deadlines need to be met. So now I'll sit here and wait for a man to come and tell people, okay, it's time to do work. No. And these people who don't meet deadlines, see, some of them are men. Why are they not leading? Most of them are men. Why are they not doing the role of a leader? So it's an unfair, you can't compare the two roles. It's the same way if you tell a father who is a single father and is raising his children, he must be nurturing to raise his children. So now we're going to sit there and be like, why are you not leading in your house? Because his children don't need a leader, they need a nurturer. So it's a very
Can I just add to that? One of my lecturers told us that sometimes, like when you're writing a paper, and you decide to use opposites of a word, you shouldn't do that because then it doesn't mean the same thing. So, for example, what you guys would say the happiness, the opposite of happiness is sadness, And if I asked you right now, are you happy? Let's assume you're not happy,
I'm so happy.
Let's assume, like if you are in school right now about to take your exams, would you be happy? No. But
But are
would
you
you be
sad?
sad?
No.
No. So the
you'd say
opposite.
you're not sad.
You would say you're unhappy. You get so the opposite of leadership is not nurturing, and the opposite of nurturing is not leadership, because it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
The way now Pauline you said, you can't compare the two.
Yeah.
Because the same as happiness and sadness, the opposite of happiness is not sadness. You get
Yeah.
It just depends on your mood. So things. Leadership stands alone, nurturing stands alone. Compare them separately. Talk about them in separate realms. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. I have a question for all of you.
Yeah.
Have you ever been put in a box by people just because you're a woman? Like, because you're a woman, you're like, you see all the stereotypes you've given. So because you're a woman, you cannot escape these things. Like, I had a conversation with someone recently, and they're like, oh, but you know, women are like this, they do these things, so do what? And then I kept countering them like, no, but you can reach, like, I would do it in this and this and this way. And he's like, yeah, but how many women are like you? Karibuni liye.
Oh,
Liye.
I was having a conversation with a friend. So I was having a conversation with a friend a while ago, and I was explaining to them why we don't like getting catcalled. So I was like, I'm telling you, I'm a woman. I don't like being catcalled. Hear me for what I'm saying. And then he was like, but we don't do it for that. We are doing it as a compliment. And then I was like, okay, yeah, thanks, but I'd prefer you come up to me and tell me to my face, hi, I like this and this, rather than just whistling at me as I walk. Then he was like, but you're very different, look at where I am and look at where you're at. Like, socially, we're in different places. So, I mean, the women I interact with love it. So I'll continue doing it. Or rather, not I will continue doing it, so I don't see the problem doing it. And I was like, but no, like, I was trying to explain to him why it's not right to do it.
Why it's not a compliment?
It's not a compliment. Hey? I went round and round. And then we had to end the conversation because
We are getting upset.
yes.
And then when you get upset, it's because you're on your period.
Yeah. So it was crazy.
Can I just say, back to the assignment thing, the reason I'm so strict is because when I'm paired with people, they feel the need, especially, okay, it's not only guys, yeah, but the most common cases are with guys, yeah. They see, this girl is in the group, she'll do all the work for us because she's not going to be confrontational. She's not going to come to me and tell me,
Do your work,
or I need the work. I can easily just be a pushover, and she'll do the work and I'll get my A, yeah. I'll pass this assignment. So that's why I'm the way I am, because I had this group this last sem where we were told that we could pick our own groups, and I was so excited. And some of my friends in school, some of my good friends in school are in that class as well. So we just, like, as soon as the lecturer said you can pick your own people, like, we all just turned and looked at each other and said, you better not be picking anyone else to do this assignment. And that assignment, ilikuwa nyororo. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't have to call anyone. I didn't have to text anyone. We said, when we had meetings to discuss the topic, we all attended the online meeting. We were all there. We all contributed. Ilikuwa tu nyororo. So when I know our group is going to be effective and efficient, then I'm not going to bother you. But now, because I keep getting into new classes each time with different people, you don't know who the pushover is. You don't know who's not going to do their work. So you better just set it straight from the beginning and say, hi, if you don't submit your work, that's it. Because now, I know so many people and so many girls who in their groups, who are the people who are pushing them over guys
so many
all the time. And it's always girls facing these issues. Yes, there are decent guys out there, because I have friends who are guys who also face the same issues, yeah. But all the girls I talk to, the ineffective people in their groups are more likely they're not going to be the guys.
Can I add to what Tamiran was talking about? So Tamiran was talking about how she was explaining to her male friend how catcalling is not a compliment. I mean, it reminded me, sometimes when you're talking to these men, allow me, just for this episode, to refer to you people as these men because I am angry. But sometimes
And we are not on our period.
yeah,
We are allowed to
none
feel
of us.
angry.
Yeah.
But you know, these men, when you're talking to them about your experiences as a woman, you can think even them they've had a vagina for their whole life. They're so opinionated. Yeah. Listen to me. I'm the one who's telling you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sir.
Mansplaining.
Are you female with me? Are we female together? Let me tell you as a woman why this is not a compliment. And then I will listen to you as a man why you think it's a compliment. Don't come in here telling me, but you know you women. I don't know. Let me tell you what I know.
Can I just say that I just want to preface and say it's not all men. I understand, because let me tell you why. I have this one friend, just one friend, yeah. He's of late, he's been so like interested in like, but it's just like a curiosity thing, yeah, in like learning more about women and being conscious about women issues. So he sends me like TikToks, he sends me questions just that he can be more informed as a man.
Wow.
And I find that so
amazing.
empowering. Even like right now, he sent me a whole TikTok and I've not looked at it. Have you?
That is a man.
I'll ask him.
Yeah, can we all have his number?
So progressive in that way, and it's such a breath of fresh air, you know, to have someone who like is not afraid to come and ask me as a woman, is this true? What is your opinion?
He should come for the masculinity.
He wanted to yeah.
Before you continue, again, as Pat said, it's not all men. We're not here to shame. We're not here to call out men. We know 25% of you listen to this podcast are amazing.
And more to come.
Na tunawapenda. Hii ni tu masaibu yetu.
And we don't hate you.
Hatuwa hate ni tu vitu zenye tume experience. We need to heal. We need to
Yeah.
that is the problem. We need to heal. Hatuja heal bado. We're in the process because nobody is perfect, but Jesus will perfect us.
Amen.
Yeah, so yeah, that was an amazing contribution, you. As we're nearing to conclusion, I had another question, which I think a lot of women would like to, if they had the opportunity, they talk about it, because a lot of women have experienced backstabbing, certain things that some women contribute to the issues that us as women also face. So, what are the kind of issues, or how do I explain? Yeah, like what do you think that women have been a catalyst or a facilitator to the issues that we face as women in society today? And if so, have you experienced such? And if you'd like to explain yourselves,
Explain yourself.
yeah.
So, for context, we are recording our episodes like 2-3 days before election. So, I'll give my example in relation to politics. There's so many women who are going to say, Mrs. Votea Mama. And it's so heartbreaking to see, because some women are genuinely qualified to be in a certain seat, yeah? But just because they're a woman, just because people hold the belief that women cannot be leaders, or they cannot lead a certain part of the country, or even the whole country effectively, is the reason they're not going to get voted. Not because they're incompetent, not because they're corrupt, not because they've stolen money, not because of any of that, solely because of the fact that she's not a man, you know. So, and I find that sad to see, you know. You should rule people out or rule them in because of what they've done and their capabilities and abilities and how they've proven them to us, not their gender, you know. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to answer this question. But I've had among the worst heartbreaks is from for females, is when their fellow female friend breaks their trust or betrays them. I personally haven't gone through that, and I thank the Lord. And I'm also grateful that I'm surrounded by good women. Wonderful ladies who will cheer you and will what's the support you and unajua kutandika mtu but si kutandika mtu.
Keep you accountable.
They'll keep you accountable and they'll check you when they need to check you. So I hope that I never have to experience any pain from friendship, but I have had it's terrible. So I think that's one way we.
Can I just add? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Can I just add? I think women, some women also don't like seeing women like flourishing. We went for this woman like career talk. We stumbled on it when we were doing our tour of churches. Yeah. So after the service, they're like, "Oh, young ladies, you can stay behind. There's a session for you, nini." And it was like a panel of very influential women in the country, and one of them was talking about the way like she's met presidents of different countries and whatever, and then the last question that was asked, and like she's so successful, and she's gotten scholarships to go study. She's never paid for school fees ever for university, and then so she's so influential, and then the last question that was asked was, so have you ever mentored anyone like in your field to come up, like what do you do when you're mentoring? She was like, I don't mentor. And I was like, what? You're such a successful woman. The first thing you should be doing is bring people up. Even though it's not fellow women, bring someone up. So it's so sad to see women not bringing other women up when you've made it, Bring women up with you, If we're talking about female empowerment, let's actually implement it. Yeah. So I feel like, just that lack of support among women, where if I've made it, then now nakusahau is prominent among women. Because you don't want to be dragged down by another woman because you know how hard it is to get there. But I feel like we should challenge that.
And just to add on to what she said, I feel like with the whole empowerment initiative of women, empowerment starts within us, like amongst us. We can't expect to get empowerment from men or from other people before we start empowering ourselves as women. So, as they say, change starts with you individually.
I think another thing that a lot of people don't realize, or people probably realize it, but like these things start from such a young age. Because can you me personally, the amount of times I have had young girls say, me, I can't have female friends. Female friends is just drama. And I'm like, first of all, if you are having drama with your friends and they happen to be female, the problem is not their gender, the problem is them. As people, they are not good people. Not because they are women, but because they need to be told.
They're problematic.
And then also, like from such a young age, women are constantly trying to be like the boys, constantly trying to have male friends, constantly trying to be cool. And like Priscilla said, you can't expect empowerment from guys if we're constantly looking for that validation, looking for guys to come and like, why are we waiting?
Guys who don't even understand the struggle.
Like, why are we waiting for them to come and be like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Being a woman can have challenges. Like, we don't need your validation. But also, like, it's hard for you not to look for that validation if from such a young age you've been taught to believe you and against other women. It's you against other women. You against other women. You and women can't be the same team. You need to fight them if you want to survive in this world.
So you can seek male approval.
And like...
This is around me, but it's like when a guy is dating two girls at the same time. Who anda kuchapa udem mwingine? Kwenda kumchapa. She's not in the position. Hata yeye ameshtuka amedua, even whether or not she knew about you. Hata yeye shida ni mtu wako. You didn't have a pact to this girl about your relationship with your boyfriend. It was you and your boyfriend. So jamaa jo amemess, endeni mpambane. Umwache and life moves on. Lakini kusema kwenda kuchapa msichana mwingine surely. Now what will you do? What does that do? You'll get your love back from her.
The love she stole.
Actually, it's also in relation to what Karen just said. I think a lot of, I've seen it in the older generation though, where a lot of like, let's say, aunts and some moms would prioritize or put marriage in such a high pedestal, where like even walking out of like a terrible marriage or something that's not working out for you, or even an abusive one, is so hard because you go seek advice, because usually before you consult, let's say, a pastor, or it reaches the point where you're going to see a lawyer, you obviously consult family members. So you'd go tell your aunt, or let's say even your mom, and you're like, hey mom, this guy's abusive, I want to leave my marriage. Your mom is like, okay, some moms, not all moms, but like some moms would be like, you got married, it's your marriage, you can't walk out.
You need to fix it.
You need to fix it. And then, like certain, it's like a woman
is triggered.
Yeah.
Is triggered.
It's like a woman, like the success of a marriage or the success of any relationship lies on the woman. Like it's like she's in that relationship by herself. It's like there's no other person in that relationship, which is so wrong. And sadly, it really irritates me. Sadly, a lot of women that I've gotten to interact with, even though they're older than me, they stay in such relationships, and some even in such marriages, because they don't want to cause shame to their mom, to their family. And who's making them feel like this? Their moms. Because even some moms would pride themselves, or some aunts would pride themselves, even my husband was like that, lakini nilivumilia.
And that's what they say in marriage, not marriage counseling. Like you see, when you go for wedding premarital, when you go for even a wedding shower, a bridal shower, they'll go and tell you, they'll sit down and they'll tell you, men, they go and they have all these side hustles, but they're these side ladies, but you should always remain, you should always stay. It's just the nature of men. No, it's not.
Exactly.
It's not. Yes, Pauline.
Can I just say, I think the problem of this entire thing stems from woman is only wife. Woman is only mother. Woman is only nurturer.
Not human being.
Woman is first and foremost, not even first and foremost. Woman is final God's child.
Yes.
That's it. That is the only thing that is your identity. Mother, that's just a role you have to play. Wife, that's just a role you have to play.
Yeah.
But people differentiate roles from identity. Like if this man,
They equate role to identity.
yes, if this man is beating you every day, this man is starving you, this man is making a fool out of you, do you not think God is happy? Do you think God is happy with this?
No.
Like God is anakapo anona, that's my daughter suffering in her marriage, that's what I want. That's not what God wants. That this conversation is not whether marriage is a sanctity, because that's a different conversation entirely.
Yeah.
This conversation is whether this woman who is in pain in her marriage should remain in pain because marriage is good. Marriage is ordained. Marriage is ordained. All
Marriage
of this
is good,
is true.
but that's marriage.
But this is a separate conversation.
Yeah.
This is not the conversation. The conversation we're having is this woman is in pain, and this woman, before they are a woman, before they are a wife, before they are a mother, they are a child of God, and they are a human being. And they deserve your empathy.
Yes. Yes.
And I love the way Pauline just explained it. Because really, I think the whole point of ati mwanamke ni kuvumilia, it's like a woman is valued by the amount of crap she takes from someone else, which is so unnecessarily useless and archaic and anachronistic. Yeah. As we conclude, this would be the last question.
I wanted to say something.
Oh, sorry. Cut that out. Yes, pal.
What are we talking about? Identity.
Women taking shit.
Also, we talk about identity. And a woman identifying herself, because we're talking about femininity.
Yeah.
there's a lot of women, they become mothers and they become Mama Nani. Then, your name is not Gladys, your name is Mama Jeremy. You know?
Yeah.
So even my mom in our estate, when they meet each other, they call, because a lot of people who live in Thika are like, specifically where I live, a lot of people who live where I live, they're like, you are born in shags and then you rose up the ranks, you got good grades, you went to a good school, then you got good opportunities, yeah. So a lot of those women, like where they've come from, their identity, they don't know their identity by themselves, So now they grow up thinking, I must become a mother and a wife. So when you're a mother and a wife, that is your identity. Your name is, as I said before, your name is not Gladys, your name is Mama Jeremy. But do you know yourself as Gladys? Who are you really without your child? Who are you really without your husband? Because your husband could die and your children could live. And then, who are you? What are you going to do with your life?
That's where you get these mothers that are so controlling of their married children. You get now you get husbands having to choose between their mother and their wife. What is that?
Yeah. That's true. Oh. Okay, as we come to a conclusion to this amazing episode, I think it's already been tackled in a way. But if there's anything that you'd like to add on it, feel free to do so. Do you guys have an issue, or have you seen or experienced an issue with how women treat each other? Like it's already, it's already like that's why I'm saying
have
like
you
it's
had
already
experience?
Like have you had that this is actually there's someone another fellow woman who like treated me in a way that was like
no,
I don't agree with that. So
I want to give a caveat to that because you guys have talked a lot about women not supporting women. But I'd also like to say, when a woman loses like her family, becomes old, let's say like in terms of marriage, when she loses her husband and she's old and her children are old and they moved out of the house, if her husband loses the wife, that's it. Like 2-3 months down the line, you expect the husband to also follow in suit. The woman is very empowered, not because not even empowered. Yes, she'll grieve over her husband, over the loss of her husband, but the woman also 80% of the time will have such a good support system from her fellow women around her. When you look at female relationships versus male relationships, a lot of men say, you girls, you're so toxic to each other, and to some extent that's true. But if you also look at, we can't focus on this one side. When you look at female relationships, for example, most of the relationships in my life are female. Ni hapa tu university hapa tu juzi. Nimekutana na vijana kadhaa. But even before, most of my relationships have been female relationships. Most of my female relationships have been my most fulfilling relationships in my life. The relationships now that I'm developing with men platonically are still fulfilling, but I cannot say they're nearly as fulfilling as even this fellowship that you guys we have developed here together. So yes, there's toxic things, there's pros and cons to everything, but I genuinely do believe there are women out there supporting women, women out there who are having fellowship, who are having communion, and it's amazing and it's lovely to see.
That's good.
Also, I just want to add, the way Karen talked about men calling female relationships toxic. Men, can I ask you one question? Just one, Why is it that you make fun of each other for loving each other? I mean, for loving your significant other. Like, if you buy your girlfriend flowers, simp. If you say nice things to your mom or your sister, simp. Like, do you think this is normal? Because it's not. I don't think. Well, anyway, I'm not a man. I'm not going to speak on male issues. But maybe you guys need to sit down and have a meeting.
Help us understand.
Yeah, please help me understand why you are this way. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. I'm not saying this because I hate men. I'm genuinely curious. What is it that makes you relate with each other like that?
Yeah, I think I agree with Karen. Women can be fantastic people as in the same way that they can be toxic. There's always two sides to everything. You see, like the way I said that there's good men out there, even though hapa tumerant.
This has been a ranting episode.
Yeah, so there's still good women out there. Like, you guys are good women. You know, we can't come and say, oh, women are bad, and then we're here doing a podcast together. Are we saying that all the smiles that all the laughs that we have are fake? No. So yeah, it's just women can be good, but like, just like with choosing people in general, choose your women wisely. Yeah.
But also, never mind. It's been covered.
Okay.
This has been an amazing conversation. I really learned a lot, and I loved the way we openly interacted. Some of you might think we are ranting, but we are not. I think we are ranting.
I know.
Yes, we are ranting, but I feel like it's from a point of,
I was told if you're not emotional about what you talk about, you're not passionate about it.
Wow. Snippet?
Snippet needs to be
It
you.
needs to be you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, you won't be a snippet until episode 40.
Either way, yeah, I feel like this has been an amazing, engaging conversation, and I think we've learned a lot from each other, and I pray and hope that you've learned also something from us. To our male community, please don't take it to heart. Just learn from, yes.
Hata kama ukisikia uchungu, just talk it out.
Yeah,
Talk it out to someone.
and also,
Touch in our DMs.
yeah, and also learn. Don't take anything. Don't take everything that we've said like we are backlashing or something. But we want you to learn from or hear out our experiences as women and learn from it. Not everything is like a war or an argument. No, it's not. We're here to have an engaging conversation, an interactive conversation. And if you feel like you want to talk to us, you can reach us on our Instagram at P3T Podcast. Also, you can also find all our episodes on every single podcast app other than Apple Music or Apple Podcast. Also, you can email us on p3tpodcastke@gmail.com. Yeah, do like, do share, do subscribe. Is it subscribe or follow? Yeah, either.
Whichever.
Also make sure you follow us on Instagram.
And like the snippets.
Yes.
And like all the posts.
Yes.
Additionally, if you have any suggestions for any other topics, like this was highly suggested by all of you to have a part 2, please let us know in our DMs or our comments or anywhere else that you can reach us.
Yeah, so hope you really enjoyed this episode, and we do wish you an amazing time. Have an amazing day or night or morning or evening, whatever time it is. Either way, from us, it's a bye.
Bye.